Denise. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me, Eric. This is great. Wonderful.
Well, we appreciate it. You're the president of TEMSEA. Here we are in July. I can't believe it's been a year
I
since we've
know.
been together.
I know.
And tell us about the conference. And I'm going to start out by saying the biggest one to date. But what is happening here? Why is so much excitement?
This has been the most exciting week that I can remember in my time on the TEMSA board. This has been the biggest conference, as you mentioned, that we've ever had. We had over 500 registrants, which is just incredible. We had a full day of leadership on the first day, a full day of educational content on the second day for our instructor coordinators, and then today we've got 2 full days, one of pediatrics, 2 tracks I should say, full day of pediatrics and a full day of mobile integrated health and community paramedicine, which we have never done before. Right. We've had the community paramedicine speakers come in, and I personally, as a community paramedic, am thrilled because this is the first time we've done that, and the turnout has been exceptional. We have gotten feedback that just is raving over our speakers, and it's nothing that the TEMSA board has done. It's the speakers and the content they're bringing. So we're excited, and even though it's the end of the week and we're all kind of tired and with the bags under our eyes, we are excited to make next year even greater because this year has been so wonderful.
Wow, it has been a great year. A lot of TEMSA projects are going on
Yes.
from the leadership, of course, this conference, much more to come. And how can people find out about TEMSA or maybe being part of
Absolutely.
an ambassador program or whatever
we
it is
would
and
love
support you?
that. We have a board member that has taken over the ambassador program, and I won't throw him under the bus today, but we're very excited about that. We would love to have educators and providers that are looking into education and want to know about how to plug in. TEMSA is a great way to plug in. If they will go to our website, there's a short application for ambassador associate members, ambassadors that we would like you to fill out. It will come to those of us on the board, and we will get back to you and say, hey, let's plug you in here. There are a lot of places that ambassadors that want to see what all TEMS is about. We have some leadership committees. We have conference committees. We have the leadership mentoring call. We have a brand new newsletter that came out this conference that we're sending to our members. We had hard copies here at the conference, but we're sending that out with educational content, our YouTube channel. There are so many opportunities for people to find their niche and really excel in what they want to do. So I would be thrilled if we had all of your listeners reach out to TEMSA, reach out to the board, reach out to me and say, hey, tell me more.
Right. That is incredible. And for those that are listening, we get to network and to share this message with TEMSA to several thousand people per month. And please follow us and subscribe to the podcast. All of us are volunteering, just trying to make it better than it was. And we have a heart of service. So we're grateful to be part of this. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you
Y'all
for
did an amazing
allowing me.
job.
Well, we are excited. I'm going to run into the next session, but thank you for having me, Eric.
Thank you, Shannon. Chester, I'm grateful that you joined us here today. Chester Goad. And Chester, tell us a little bit about why you're here and your story.
Yeah, so I would have told you 2 years ago that I would have never expected to be at an EMS or first responder event of any kind. We are here because we have established a foundation in honor of our son, Corbin Scott Goad. So our foundation is Serve Strong, the Corbin Scott Goad Memorial Foundation. And Corbin was directly affected by the work of EMS, the good work that they do. And I guess a little over a year and 9 months ago, he was working for the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department in an entry-level position, and he was 21 years old. Worked for them for about 4 months, and then he was in an accident. And it was a tragic accident, and it was Fentress County EMS that responded to his accident. And he didn't make it. But the first responders from Fentress County were absolutely incredible. They were compassionate. They were super professional. And something that struck us, well, there were a couple things. First, the EMS wanted to share with us their last conversation with our son, which was really special. And I know that not everybody gets that. And so we truly appreciated their willingness to come and talk to us about that. But then also, just the manner in which they handled themselves with family, and they sat with us until it was 3 or 4 in the morning at that point. So the accident happened around 10 p.m. And they stuck there with us for quite a while, super supportive. And so afterward, my wife and I, we were sort of reflecting on, what can we do with this? What do we do with this? We've lost our son; he was our only child, and so we decided we would create a foundation, but we weren't really sure what. And then we were talking one day about the first responders and the EMS folks, and we were talking about just the level of trauma that they must deal with regularly. And it struck us that not every response is a rescue. And so we decided we would support first responders, and we definitely have a heart for EMS. And so we established a foundation. And what we've been doing most recently is just trying to learn as much as we can.
Wow. It's an incredible story. It's certainly heartbreaking. You and I talked yesterday.
Yes.
And what would be something you would want to share with the providers that are listening to this?
I think most importantly, I want them to know that they are supported. That, one of the comments we get regularly from people is, "I can't imagine that happening." And I think really you don't want to, is what I think. But if you're in that situation, these EMS folks, they commit their lives. They don't get paid a ton of money to do this. And so I would tell them that they do have people out there that are rooting for them. There are, I'm sure, other groups out there that are supporting first responders, but we're in their corner for sure. And we're aware of it. We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that people know sort of the circumstances that they're working in. And also, they've identified for us some things. I've mentioned we've been doing some research and things like that. And they've identified several things that could possibly be helpful for them. And so I want them to know that we're hearing them, and we're going to make sure that other people hear that as well.
It's so powerful. How can people learn more about supporting your mission?
Sure. Okay. Well, we're on all the social medias, but we also have a website that's pretty comprehensive. There is a survey on there for first responders. We would love to continue to gather information. That's what we've been doing this week as well. But they can go to www.servestrong.us. That's the primary place, and from there they can get to all the other places. But Serve Strong is the organization, and we would love to hear from them and to have some more conversations. We're learning a lot from this.
Wow. Well, Chester, you add value to all of us. This is unusual for someone to come in the position that you're in that's not in the field but has been impacted. We're truly grateful. This means a lot, and I know it's not easy work, especially with what happened in your situation, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you spending time with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Andrew, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Glad to be here. Love to be here.
Tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Andrew Vernon. I've been a paramedic for going on 2 years. I've been in EMS for roughly 4 going on to 5 years now.
Okay.
So now I work in Giles County.
Yeah. Well, we met for the first time here at the conference, and I was just struck by you. You're a young guy, and you're the future of EMS. You're the future of leadership. You were one of the youngest participants in the leadership class that we were in, and you just impressed us, and I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes to you. So would love to ask you, what are you excited about this industry and leadership in EMS? Why did you come today, and why did you come to this conference when you didn't have to? This is not clinical tracks, although you're in them, but you really took a vested interest in learning about leadership. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I really love EMS, and I'm inspired to be in this career because of the progression that has come from the beginning to where it is now and then into the future. It is constantly taking a step forward, and it's constantly looking forward to what is the next big thing. You know, I really love how you can go from somebody who, you know, maybe, let's say, worked at McDonald's, and now they're out there making a difference into the community as a EMT, AEMT, paramedic, critical care, and so on and so on. With this leadership conference, Willow, my director, she had asked me about it. She said, "Hey, there's an opportunity to go to a leadership conference. Would you want to? Was that something you'd be interested in?" I said, "Absolutely, I would love to." And I even told her up front, I was like, "Look, I know I'm not in the leadership role right now, but," and she quickly kind of interjected and said, "You have the opportunity to be, though." And so I came here, and I have just been awestruck with the knowledge that I've learned about what leadership is. Getting to being at where I am at such a young level, being around the high level of leadership that I am, it's almost like being a sponge. You can't help but kind of feel that, these are the giants that have helped me get to where I am,
Mm-hmm.
and also the inspiration to where I want to be.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a great experience here. And again, EMS as a whole, I think the biggest thing that we all say is, we want to change lives. And changing lives doesn't always mean giving meds or doing some cool procedure. Sometimes it's being that leadership of pushing those who are have the potential to go do those things as well. Yes,
That is
sir.
incredible. Well, I'll tell you, we value you. We appreciate you supporting
Thank you
this,
guys so
and
much.
we're so excited about investing into our young professionals, and you're
Sir.
one of them, and you're making a difference already, and we appreciate you
Well,
very
thank you
much.
so much. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Arsenio, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, my name is Arsenio Hardrick. I'm a critical care paramedic and a field training officer here in the Middle Tennessee area. I'm currently working right now for Williamson Health EMS. Been there for about a year and a half. I've also most recently flown for a large academic medical center here in Middle Tennessee. Flew there for about 2.5 years. Been in EMS for about going on 20 years. That's amazing to really think about, but it's almost been 20 years for me.
Oh, that's right.
So I've worked in multiple different areas of EMS, hospital-based, in the emergency department, trauma centers, and so yeah, it's been quite the journey for me.
Wow. Well, we're excited. I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while. We're working on some projects together with the state and leadership, and you're an amazing leader. We talk often. And tell everybody a little bit about what this conference has meant for you being here the last few days.
Okay. Well, two things I'll say is, for one, we are here to be better learners. We're here because this is obviously, TEMSEA is an educational organization. So it's a lot about that, but more importantly, it's also about becoming better leaders and learning how to lead within our industry.
Yeah.
And I will say that's a lot of what I've taken away from the conference since I've been here.
Right.
We've had multiple speakers on leadership, what being a leader actually means,
Yeah.
and different things of that nature.
Yeah. So let's talk leadership for a few minutes. That's oftentimes when we talk, we're talking about specific things. But when you hear the word leadership, what does it mean? What do you think about, and how important is it in our industry?
It's super important. I will say, to start, I will say what I think leadership is not. I think is what I believe that leadership is not, and it's not a title. And I've heard a lot of different, as I've studied what leadership means, that really resonates with me, because a lot of people think that leader is a title. But one of the most important things that I've learned about leadership is that it is not about me. And I used to be the person that thought that being a leader was, okay, I'm the one that's in charge. I'm the one that I guide you and I tell you what to do. But it's really about what I can do to serve the people that I work with.
Yeah.
And when I think about, I'm not even going to use the word that are beneath me, under me. And as I've read books and learned more about leadership, it's more about, well, how can I help you? How can I pull you up? How can I help you become a leader?
Yeah, right.
What are some qualities that I can instill in my colleagues and the people that I work with to help them be better providers and better leaders as well?
Well, one of the exciting things that we are doing right now is building content for the future. Field training officers is part of that curriculum. And you being in that leadership role, it is so important for field training officers So tell us a little bit about when you have an employee come in and you're in that lead position, the field training officer. What are some of the concepts that you try to teach them, not just about being a successful employee, but what are some of those concepts about leadership that you're trying to teach them that maybe they've never heard before?
Well, when I first get as an FTO,
Yeah.
what I've learned also about being a field training officer, it's the face of the program. So whatever program or whatever entity that you work for, that's the first introduction to that service that they're going to get.
Right.
I mean, as soon as they leave, they get off of orientation and they get out of hospital orientation, and they learn about benefits, they come to you.
Yes.
So field training officers, they set the standard
Yes.
for the program. You're the first look at what they get. So I think it's imperative that field training officers be a person that has good morals, has the ability and the patience to teach people, be able to understand different learning styles and how different people learn. So you have to be versatile in the way that you teach, and just be willing and to be a servant, because again, that's what a leader is. That's what an FTO is. I think that all ties in together.
Yeah. Well, let me give you some encouragement about what you're doing. So I've been a medic since 1990, and my field training officer, it wasn't titled that back then. To this day, I can share with you all of the lessons that I learned from that man.
Oh, really?
And it's powerful. So the work that you're doing with your service is making a difference, and the employees that you impact will never forget you. And we appreciate you being in a leadership role and doing that, and for everything you've done for the community, and for just having a conversation with us today. We appreciate you very much, and you definitely add value to us, Arsenio. I look forward to working with you soon.
I look forward to working with you. And I'll say, and one thing I've seen recently on social media, and I follow people like Jocko and a lot of motivational people like that. One thing that I will say about leaders is that, from being a leader and being around leaders like you and a lot of the other people that we know, is that if you don't invest in your people, and if a leader does not invest in other leaders, then you kind of setting yourself up for failure, right? Because if you're the only person that's competent, you're the only person that has all the knowledge and all the experience, then what happens when you go away? What happens when there's no one else? So you have to train the next man up.
That's
And so,
powerful advice, man.
thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Devin Dickey, thanks for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
This is kind of cool because you're actually a board member and you're behind this conference. It's been so successful. There's hundreds of people here. I've seen you running around the halls, and I was like, Devin, you got to be on the podcast with us. So tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, sure. So Devin Dickey, critical care paramedic. I've been on the TEMSEA board for about a year now. Special election got me on the board, and then just this weekend won the general election. So I'll be the Region 6 board member for the next 3 years. So I'm super excited about that.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thank you.
You're also an instructor. You've been an instructor how long?
Going on 6 years now. Columbia State EMS Academy down in Columbia, Tennessee. I'm pretty much the lead nighttime EMT instructor, which I love. It's a different breed, teaching at night versus during the day, but I absolutely love it.
You got a funny stories.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Tell us.
A few classes ago, I was struggling to connect with my tactile learners, right? We had tried several different things, and then, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I wish I could credit this person for their work and for this idea. I can't claim it as mine, but one day on the way to the college, I just stopped at the dollar store and I bought all of the Play-Doh that I could find. And I walked into class and I had Play-Doh sitting in front of all of them. And when I told them what we were going to do, they looked at me like, I just paid money to come learn with Play-Doh, but we made hearts in class to get them to understand the parts of the heart. And it worked. And ever since then, I've utilized that for every body system. And it's been great, for them to be able to physically make, feel, touch, look at those parts. It's awesome. And it changes their perspective on how it works.
So Play-Doh is
Play-Doh.
now re-entering and changing
Play-Doh's
the
the
work.
key. Absolutely. It's on our order list every semester that we get some new Play-Doh.
That is incredible. Well, we appreciate you sharing that story with
Absolutely.
us today.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Morphus with the Tennessee EMS Education Association. I wanted to ask you all to mark your calendars for our 2025 conference coming up July 30th through August 1st next summer. We will be having activities that week, including leadership classes, provider classes, and instructor classes. Don't forget, we're also having a great golf tournament that week. If you have any questions or need any dates, go to our website at tnemsea.com.